Welcome back to Six Quantum Bridge Podcast. This is your host, analyst, and researcher, Bernadette. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everyone that celebrates Christmas and celebrates the holidays, wherever you are, all around the world. Thank you to all of my listenership all around the world, not just here in the States. Love you guys. You are listening to a 2025 marathon podcast, a 2025 most shared podcast, and a 2025 rising star podcast. So I wanted to make the first installment of the new material that I have on here. It's one of the many things that I'm going to be talking about in the new year. And I wanted to start off with my own experience in this so you know exactly what to look for. And if you feel so inclined to share your experience, that's what the comment section is for. All right. So, that being said, let's get into it. Call it a neurodivergent thing or just call it a very spiritual person thing, but we recognize patterns. Okay. Now, there's something called the Saturn pattern. Well, actually, I call it the Saturn pattern, but things happen on 7-year intervals. And when you realize that major events have happened every 7 years in your life, you can kind of predict what is going to happen next. And you also get to know why somebody did what they did, which demystifies the demon that you're dealing with. Okay. When I say demon, I mean the karmic. Okay. Because nothing high vibrational is being karmic. That being said, 2007, I met my twin flame. That was the ignition. Okay. And being the fact that we met on his sister's wedding day is very auspicious and very blessed, if I do say so myself. That was a signal and a marker of where we were going. Wink, wink. And of course, 7 years had passed. If you know anything about twin flames, there are certain things that have to happen. Okay. So 7 years after the separation, we reconnected. That simultaneously was the time where I was going through my homelessness. So 7, 14. What comes after 7 and 14? 21. 2021 was when I received the false death narrative. Now, mind you, I had essentially gone on with my life. And one day, out of nowhere, it seems, I get this inspiration to look him up. And I received a false death narrative. I'm not going to get into a lot of details. More can be found on my Tobacco Iron. I'm going to say it the very, not, because if I say it with the Spanish accent, a lot of people that are not Spanish speaking or not native Spanish people are not going to understand the inflection. So I have to say it very plainly, Tobacco Iron, which is TOBACOYRONTAROT. I have that specific TikTok account where you can see the video. If I can give you a clip of the video, I can probably put it here because I've been putting a lot of video clips on here so that you get to see the person that is making these podcasts. Okay. So make good use of those video clips that I put on here and enjoy those too. And in that video, I basically talk about a dream that I had that proved everything that I was kind of getting from this entire situation. And wouldn't you know, as happens with spiritual people, that day I had a dream of the very person that I was basically exposing. Okay. So if you want more context, you have to go to the video so that you can see it. But previous from that, I had explained in another video how easy it is to fake a death narrative. Okay. If you really want somebody to believe that somebody is dead, there are certain things that you can do that can make it seem plausible. So let's get into that. So here we are in the timeline at 2021. Now, the consistent factor here and the common denominator is a lot of these things happened around October 10, which is change. Not really change, that's fine, but that's like, major change, like, endings and simultaneous beginnings, right? Because 1 and 0 is 1. It's back to the starting point. So, being that I met my twin flame back in, I think it was October of 2007, if I'm not mistaken, okay? And he supposedly, quote unquote, left this life in October of 2021. It begs the question, why is October so significant, first of all? And why are these things following a pattern of 7, 14, 21? Here we are at the supposed closing. They hope that this would close the chapter, right? So if those particular people are hate listening to my podcast, well, now you know that I know. How they probably did it because they realized that the magic wasn't working. I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm bookended by two very, very powerful pantheons of magic. I mean, first and foremost, I'm a Christian and I'm protected by God. And, there's nothing getting past that. But if you want to talk about it in other spiritual means, I'm literally bookended by fire and ice. You're not going to get me in either way. Firewalls are hard to get past, and if you want to talk about ice, I mean, those are glaciers, like literal ice walls, right? So you have the fire part of me being Puerto Rican, you have the ice part of me being Ukrainian. So you do the math, okay? There was no way nobody was getting in anyway, okay? And I'm very blessed by that. And I have specific zodiac astrological markers that protect me even further. So there was no way, either way, that I was going to get affected. So being that that's the case, I did a little research, as I do. I have Scorpio in my chart, so we're very much the researchers. And I found how easy it would be to fake a death narrative if you were to fake a death narrative. I wondered to myself, can I find these things on Amazon if you can't produce a body because the person is not dead? Then how do you fake a death narrative? What I would do if I was this karmic, and this is how we have to frame this, okay? If I was this karmic, how would I accomplish this end? So I go to Amazon and I type in urns, as in burial urns for ashes, right? Because you can't produce a body. He's not dead. So I go to Amazon and I type in urns, and there's a whole bunch of urns on there in varying in price ranges, okay? And if you want to do this quick, you're probably not paying a lot for the urn. So you're doing the refined search to cheap as possible, right? Find a very general standalone picture of the person to slap on the front of the thing, right? Then what you do is you probably, and as their luck would have it, right under the urns are ashes. But these are not human ashes because the person wasn't cremated. So where were these ashes coming from? Right up under the urns that are listed on Amazon. Well then, it doesn't take much money to make this happen, right? because nobody other than us are going to do the investigating, right? So I put that into a video, and wouldn't you know, I lost access to that account right after that video. I wonder why. I have a list of all of my passwords. How come it's not working? Yeah. Okay. All right. I see. I see what's going on here. I'm not stupid, baby. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not stupid. Okay. So after that, it's pretty clear how they put this together. Of course, you have to make it look official and make a memorial. What better way than to get a bunch of his buddies together and they put this urn with a picture. And then when they put this memorial together, it's so shoddily done that half of the picture reel is not even of pictures of him. Pictures of his dog, pictures of this person and that person, everybody else but that person. You're going to tell me this person has been such an integral part of your life and you have hardly any pictures of him? Really? And then, since they're hate watching and hate listening to your stuff on social media, now they got to scramble to log in, back in, and put up all of these pictures of the ex-wife, or, they weren't officially married. It was like that kind of common law thing, not officially married, not recognized by God, okay, but recognized just by the law here on the land. But if it doesn't have any weight in the spirit, obviously it doesn't mean anything down here because, look what happened. So that being the case, you have to wonder what's coming that they had to make a false death narrative because, as I said before, death is pretty, excuse my growling stomach, guys. I'm a little hungry, so I'm not going to make this a long episode. Oh my goodness. If you're looking at patterns, if you're good at patterns at all, and neurodivergents are very, very good at looking at patterns, but can we really chalk it up to that? Or is us figuring out what's going on, figuring out why they had to make a death narrative? If you want to shut somebody down from getting together with their twin, how do you do that? When you realize that this person is fucking being stubbornly spiritual and it's protected on all fucking sides and you can't get to them in any fucking way, shape, or form, fuck it. Let's just pretend that the man died. But why is it that when you actually look things up, you cannot find them on findagrave.com or none of the associated funeral homes have any information to give you? Not even any information about anything related to them. Did you anticipate people like me searching out this information? If you knew that I did this for a living, what I'm doing right now with this episode, if I break things down and you knew that it would come to pass that I would do that, what would you have to do? You would have to either know anybody working closely in the mortuary science space. And if you know any of his friends and you got close to his friends, then obviously some of them were into the more gothic mortuary type of thing. So you can call in a few favors, right? Paperwork and the like. It's not exactly hard to get this done. All it takes is somebody that is willing to do all of this. And if you have a group of people that you have poisoned the well with, well then, now you got your little flying monkeys, don't you? It's not exactly hard. And it's because people like me expose this type of thing. That's what demystifies the demon. So, what's happening in 2028? I ask you. Hmm? Something that you can't stop. But why are you doing it now? 7 years prior? What's going on in the background? Who is turning certain ages where you're going to teach them the ways of the witch? Hmm? Hmm? Are there any children that are going to be turning 16? Are there any female children that are going to be turning 16? Because from the ages of 14 to 16 is prime age real estate to teach a female child how to be a witch. Did you know that? Did you know that? Hmm. You see, there's being a detective and being a spiritual detective. It's very easy to figure out what's going on. And if I don't have the distraction of certain things that you try to take away, other things to keep me busy, well, then I have more time to devote to this, don't I? So you kind of shot yourself in the foot there, bud. By trying to take something else away from me, you gave me more time to devote to this. Don't you feel a little stupid? Just a little bit, at least 20%, a little bit. So, with this demystifying the demon, you have to wonder. They must think you're really stupid. But with this demystifying the demon, it makes them that much smaller. And at that point, it's like they become a beetle on the ground. Or let's not make it that it's general beetles. You know those, especially here in New York. In the summertime, they have those kind of like gray moth type things with the red underbelly that are very disgusting, that are like destroying the plant life. I stomp the hell out of them things every time I fucking see them. I'm sorry. I'm killing them motherfuckers. You are not ruining my fucking uh, garden that I'm on my knees, ruining my knees at 50 years old to have a nice, beautiful garden for you to fuck it up. No, thank you. Sorry, circle of life, my friend. Sorry, you're gonna see my fucking shoe coming down on your fucking entire body and crushing your exoskeleton. Okay? So essentially, this demystifying the demon turns them into that very bug. They're going to see your shoe coming down, and it's like looking up at a deity coming down and giving you your final judgment. So, if this was in any way, shape, or form helpful to you, give me a listen. And I just saw on my left side a golden light pass me by. Wow. This tells me that one of the listeners is going to be one of my hate listeners from that camp. Have you not clocked it yet, you linebacker in lipstick? And I'm talking directly to my karmic. Have you not clocked it yet, you linebacker in lipstick? You hog in heels? You boar in a bra? That I will always figure it out? You forget who I work with. The intel that I'm getting comes directly from the one that made me, God. So for you to come after me, I mean, you're trying to come after him, and historically, he's not going to allow that to fly. So if you have a problem with what I'm saying, take it up with him. Because, I mean, the more you try to damage me and try to fight me on this, the harder he's going to come down on you. So your life is already a big bag of dicks. So that being said, if you want me to figure out what happened with yours, with demystifying the demon, and if you give me the permission to expose this on this podcast, make use of the comments, and I will get on your case as soon as possible. Okay, it's a service that I'm offering as well because I'm very good at this. It's a little pricey. Okay, so reach out to me here if you want to set up a payment plan or whatever it is, because it is a little pricey. Okay, I do charge $300 for my work. Okay, so because of everything that has to go into it, both, secularly and spiritually as well. So that being said, I hope that this was of value to you guys. And moving forward, the more we demystify these demons that we have to deal with on a daily basis, the less of a force they become. And essentially, they become like that bug that we crush. I'm here to help you guys make use of what I have to offer. Love you. I'll talk to you in the next one. Have a happy holiday. Follow me here and on my sister podcast at the Psychic Splinter Podcast. Again, this has been Bernadette. You're trying to fuck with my throat now. This has been Bernadette, your researcher and analyst and host for the 6 Quantum Bridge podcast. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.